Hi, I want to talk to you for a few minutes about moving beyond your comfort zone in writing. But I'm going to share a story with you first that doesn't have to do with writing. In addition to the work that I do with writers, developmental editing and teaching classes and coaching, I also teach animal communication, which isn't as strange as you may think. They're really very related in terms of communication. So I taught a class very recently. It ended a few weeks ago. I usually teach them in person, but I had to bring this one online because of COVID. And so it was a 2-week online Zoom class, small group, 6 people. And there was one woman who was very shy, a little timid. She did the exercises. She was great, wonderful, wonderful participant. The second day, the second session, we did a group conversation with one of my 2 horses, is silently, and it was from a distance. We were on Zoom, but everybody speaking to him at once. And at the end of the exercise, I noticed that she looked pale. And I said, are you okay? You seem a little shaky. And she said, I've never done anything like this before. She said it like that. I said, okay. And she said, and I'm feeling very vulnerable. I paused a few seconds and I said, are you feeling unsafe? And she said, not at all. And she smiled. And I said, well, that's great, because vulnerable, as long as you're safe, you're protected. Vulnerable is awesome, because that's where the learning comes in. That's where you're open, your heart is open, your mind is open. That's where the learning comes in. That's where the listening, the hearing comes in. This is great. As long as you're feeling safe, let me know if you're not feeling safe, but vulnerable is great. And by the end of the class that day, she was centered and solid and had this confidence. There was this change in her that I even brought to her attention. So look at you. Look at you. You're hearing and you're speaking out and you're just, wow, there was a change there. And she smiled. She goes, yeah. So I'm sharing this story with you to show the advantages of moving beyond your comfort zone, of trying something really different, making sure you're protected, but with your writing. So how do you do that with your writing? How do you move beyond your comfort zone? Well, read the type of writing that you haven't read before is one way. If you haven't ever read anything, literary fiction, read some literary fiction. If you read literary and you haven't read genre fiction, read good genre fiction. I actually don't like the distinction, because a lot of genre fiction is literary, just meaning it's like good, layered, deep, rich writing. But read different kinds of writing. Be challenged. That's moving beyond your comfort zone. Having to look at writing in a different way. Deal with writers you just never dealt with before. Read some poetry. That may be way outside your comfort zone. Go to a poetry reading. There's a lot of them online now on Zoom. And just, try something different. Listen to different music, something different that challenges you in different ways. And in terms of the actual writing, try writing about something you've never written about. Write a sex scene. I've never done that. I mean, but it doesn't have to end up in your writing, in your story, in your work in progress. I'm talking about fiction now. But just write something that you've never written before. Write a character you've never written before. If you're a man, you've never written a woman, write a woman. And if you're a woman, never written a man, write a man, which I'm trying now. And I don't think I'm very good at it, but I'm trying it. So, and again, it doesn't matter if you complete, it can be like a journal type thing. It's playing, and it may not end up in a piece, but that doesn't matter. When you move beyond your comfort zone, you make discoveries and you just broaden your experience, and it has the potential of making you a better writer. So, because you feel vulnerable and you listen differently and you hear different things and you make discoveries. And so I encourage you to do that. Just play. maybe in the middle of a story that you're working on now, throw in something just totally different just to see what happens to the story. You can pull out that thing later, it doesn't have to stay there. But just move beyond your comfort zone so you're not writing the same thing over and over and over again. Good writing is not safe. It doesn't have to be outrageous. It can be very conservative, but it's not safe, right? You move beyond what you already know. You move beyond your comfort zone. So I encourage you to do that. And I just want to point out something that may or may not be relevant to you. I moved beyond my comfort zone today talking to you about me being an animal communicator, which I've been for about 20 years. I've been a writer for twice that long. But sharing that with you, and maybe some people are going to go, oh man, what is wrong with her? That's crazy. Okay, you might. And others might say, wow, that's kind of cool. I wonder how that relates to writing. I'd like to learn more about that. So, you kind of can't worry about it. Just do your thing, be brave, and try something new. So I'm Pam Sorellis of Winged Horse Writing Studio, and I help writers find and shape their stories and find and strengthen their writing voices. So if you have any comments about the suggestion, I'd love to hear them below. And I'll see you next week. Take care.